Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out.
Lego Lord of the Rings Balrog raised eyebrows for what some fans say is an unfortunate pose. I see it. I see it. Oh, I see it. It's taking a piss on Gandalf.
You shall not!
Pee!
Before you go, one question.
Yes?
Where in the galaxy is Sanusi?
Show us your tits and I'll tell you.
I think I've died and gone straight to honker heaven. Boobs are amazing.
Amazing. Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Dive, the Double Ds, where you, the audience, are driving the car and you've stuffed me in the trunk, and I have to feel every bump along the way. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. It's Friday. Let's try to be positive. It's the end of the week, and it's another one of those days where I got nothing. I spent an hour now doom scrolling on X Twitter to try and find something to maybe kick off the show with me. Here's the problem. So I had a weird night last night. At around 9:30, I decided to lay down and pre-sleep. And I pre-slept for about 3 hours, just about. And I woke up a little after midnight. And I realized, oh, man, I did sleep for 3 hours. And now I'm sort of awake again. Because I get up, take a pee. I was rolling around. I was like, oh, fine. So I get up and look around. I'm like, okay, let's see. What am I going to do? I'm kind of waking up. There's no going right back to sleep for me. And Dermy was streaming. Dermy decided to do a stream. So I'm like, all right. And he opened it up in Discord. So I jumped on. And I spent the next 2.5 hours on stream, though. So I'm leading up to the weirdness. So it was actually fun. We're bantering. We're having weeb discussions. It's kind of normal shit. We're talking little video games. Then Cloud comes on. And then Hayden Wayne drops a super chat for Dermy to read, talking about VTubers. Like, okay, they're going to talk VTubers for a little bit. I'm going to get up and go do something for like 5 to 10 minutes. And I come back, and within a matter of that span of time, what had been a normal discussions about anime, nothing kinky, just we're talking anime, we're talking One Piece, little stuff like that, talking little video games. It degenerated into degenerate behavior. A Cloud showed up and it became just, the most disgusting talk of crap. And then what happens, we get into it, and then Beardo finished his all-day gaming streams that he was doing, and he raided Dermy. So Beardo's audience comes in right in the middle of whatever disgusting bullshit is going on with Cloud. And during that period of time, here's where I'm coming around to why I started this. During that period of time, I'm just doom scrolling because I'm like this. I'm like half awake. I have no energy because I should go back to sleep, but I'm talking to the guys on the stream, and I'm doom scrolling. And it's that time of the night. I even said it during the stream. It's that time of the night where X wants to show me animal videos, mainly cat videos. And I'm like, you know what? I'm hearing all these horrible things surrounding Cloud. I'm gonna look at cat videos, nice, cute little kitten cat videos to soothe my soul. So of course, now this morning, X thinks I want to look at nothing but cat videos. because I did it last night for like 20, 30 minutes. On top of that, all I'm getting is more Peacemaker Season 2 crap. I'm getting Pokemon stuff, neither of which I'm interested in. So I had absolutely nothing on my doom scroll for that. So it was strange. We also learned a fact, Kratos, this one's for you. We learned that Cloud can't use a Bluetooth of any sort because his mom thinks it's going to give him cancer. That one's for you, Kratos. You can do with that whatever you may please. Cloud also listens to Samantha Carpenter, or Sabrina Carpenter, where the fuck that girl's name. He also listens to Sabrina Carpenter. Anyways, just so you know, there you go. There you go. You can run with that and torture him however you may. I've done my job. Which led me to, again, since I have nothing directly to talk about, I'm going to talk about the weird dreams I had last night, which is an amalgamation of crap. So I first set of dreams I had when I finally went back to sleep at around 4 a.m. And I slept for another 3 hours. Then I woke up for 2 hours and I went back to sleep for another hour and a half. The first dream I had, I was watching some strange version of a Superman television show, live action, in my brain, where it was basically a small village where multiversal Supermen were living together, and they were all somewhat depowered, and they were having problems, and there were even like female versions. I don't know. My brain went wild on this shit, and it was actually leading to an interesting mystery involving a Lex Luthor-based Superman who had turned on them and was plotting a thing, and they were on the other ones were coming together to solve the plan, what he was trying to do to them. And right as it was beginning to be solved, I woke up. So I have no idea what the conclusion was to this show I was watching. I have no idea. Then when I went back to sleep for the third time in this crazy night I had a dream that I was back in some sort of school environment, and I was living in some dorm, and I had a nameless roommate. It's like, okay, I got some schlub who's my roommate. Fine, whatever. We didn't talk, didn't communicate, but it was like understood, don't fuck around with me. I don't fuck around with you. And then in the dream, I went off to hang out with whoever my group that I hung out with, a bunch of other nerds and weebs. And we were busy pirating movies and watching them while they were in the theater, some shit like that. And during that, some strange girls came in and would like find the devices we were watching it on and put thumb drives in and delete everything and walk away. And we were all confused and we were trying to figure out what to do. But I had been spent like a couple days hanging with people. And then I said, okay, I got to go back to my room. And I go back to the room. And I think it's because of watching Requiem from a Dream the other night. This is where I think this one comes in. I walk into the room and the schlub who's my roommate was having a mini party in there. And he had like 3 or 4 people having a fucking orgy on my bed. So I went from being very calm and normal weeb anime nerd guy with the other people to like full on bounce. I'm like, oh, like that's it. Everybody got the fuck out of it. And I started like just throwing people out in the room. And this dude who was like my roommate, he's like at least a foot taller than I am, or at least 5 or 6 inches taller than I am. And they were like all wrapped up. There was in the dream, there was some dude, 2 dudes, a couple chicks humping on my bed in my dream. I'm like, what is this? What are you people doing in my room? Why are you fucking on my bed? And I started throwing people out. And then they tried to lock me out, but I had a fucking key. So I got back in and I threw the rest of them out. And then this schlub of a dude whose name I didn't even know, because some other people had showed up like, have you heard from this guy? Is he okay? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't been here for days. So I go in there and I throw everybody out and he's there and I just like take him and I slam him against the wall. I'm like, okay, we're going to go over the rules now. And I just kept like beating the shit out of him. You don't let people fuck on my bed. That is, and of course, in my mind in the dream, I'm thinking this is really happening. I'm thinking, man, now I got to do laundry because people were spunking all over my bed. This is fucked up. I just want to beat the shit out of this guy. So, and then I woke up. No, it is not a repressed memory. No. I had one roommate in college and I drove him out because he was a loser. I had singles the rest of my time when I was away at college. So it was that and then it ended as I was kicking this dude's ass for like letting people fuck on my bed. I blame Requiem for a Dream for that one. I blame Requiem for a Dream for walking in and seeing people do a weird ass orgy on my bed. That's what I blame for that one. Anyway, so how's that for an opening gambit today for the show? Just kind of out there. I had nothing, so I threw it out there, and we'll go with it because I do see that for $40 over on Stream Elements, we've got Kratos, 2 internet historian videos, a long one and a short one to bring the average down. So I got them. I see the links. We will get to that. No, my only roommate in college ever, freshman year, was a skinny white dude who was a swimmer. I think he was a swimmer, but he was a weirdo. He liked to play internet chess and talk trash while doing it. And I've told this story where we went to war towards the end of that first semester, and I basically won, and he left, surprisingly, with friends, because nobody around us knew he had friends. And then I had a single for the rest of that semester all on my own. It was great. That was when I realized, wow, I don't want to live with other people. I don't want to live with other people. I'm gonna be happy by myself. So I had a single the rest of the time I was there. Well, Kratos, that was a dream, because as I said last night, Cloud right away embarrassed himself live in living color on Dermy's stream without fail. So that's only the 2 things I remember at the moment. There were other things that went on during that stream. More clown shit, more degenerate crap. He talking about also, like, apparently he was updating the cow porn he shares with Dermy and Shock or something like that. It's like, just that boy, something ain't right with that boy. Something ain't right with that boy. Yeah, Kel was there. He can confirm everything I'm saying. He was there. Anyway, all right. So what do we got today? I got nothing. This is what I had. This is the silliness I had to start the stream with. Although I do have something positive. I'll go a little positive here. This is good. Kel can also confirm this. So we were talking with last night video games and little anime, and Dermy revealed that he wants to play Final Fantasy XIV again. So it looks like we might be going back at least for one round of Final Fantasy XIV, which might be better because good old Silver, we call him Drunky, good old Silver, who has ungodly amounts of wealth, will likely transfer to our server when he gets around to it. We haven't heard from Silver in a few weeks, so hopefully he's okay. But yeah, Server, he's played as long as I have, just about, and he's looking to hop servers back to our server that we're on. So Silver's going to come over. We got Weasel. Weasel's going to be into it now. All I'd say was there is PvP, and he's into it. And there were some other people who play. So with any luck, we can maybe breathe some life into our little free company, and we can have some fun just dicking around, having a good time. Maybe or maybe not stream it on my end. I know Dermy will stream it for the kind of chill pseudo chattery streams he wants to do. I may or may not do it. I'd have to set it up on the backup computer where I have it installed. Because the thing is, data's not set up for streaming. It was just set up for me to play the game and other games like it on a better computer. But I never set up for streaming. But I might. Because I did. You guys know that my headset is falling apart. This thing, I've had it for 3 years now. It's starting to fall apart. There's something broken in here. I can hear it rattling around. You guys know that the boom mic is all fucked up. If you could see it clearly, it's like tearing. And you guys know when I play or when we're on other shows where I'm just using the boom mic, that my audio sometimes freaks out with this. So my headset's falling apart. This is broken here too. You can see it's kind of at an angle. It doesn't go right, shaky. You can see the padding's coming apart. I mean, this thing's falling apart on me. It's been falling apart for a while. But the latest SteelSeries wireless headset was on sale today. So I ordered one. It was on sale today. Almost 30% off. And it was cheaper than this one originally was. So I'm getting a new headset. Should arrive next week, which would allow me the freedom to easily swap the headset back and forth, because you'll have a new wire. And then all I got to do is pull the sensor out of one and put the sensor in the other, the receiver. So that would make it a possibility that I might stream it from that end. So we might be getting back to Final Fantasy 14. I would like it. I always want to play it, even with whatever gripes I have. I always enjoy it. Especially, I do love Viper. It's so much fun to play, and it's fun to play with friends. I don't like playing with randos. It's fun to play with friends, play with the boys. So if we're getting back into that, that'll be chill streams, hanging out, having fun. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the great thing about 14. When you play from scratch, you could play from scratch, but if, let's say, myself or Silver or Kel, who has high-level characters too, if we come down with you guys, our characters scale to your level. Kel Silver's there. We level sync. So if we're playing a legitimate dungeon run, not an unlocked one for farming something for mounts or some shit like that, or just to get something done, it level syncs. So I am as weak and squishy. Well, maybe not so weak and squishy, because even though my gear is synced as well, my gear is still my gear. It makes me a little bit stronger. I have a little more HP, this and that, but it does sync. So we are essentially the same. And it's really helpful because think about it like this. One, I am a DPS supreme. I am, that's what I do. I could, on lower levels, I can tank, because I do have high level tanks, which would scale down. So with me, you get a tank or DPS. Kel has a tank and a DPS as well. Dermy has mostly DPS. He still wants to get Reaper. And if Silver comes over, he's got healer. Now we need more healers, is what we need. We need more healers. We always need more healers. People who want to heal or get good at it. And the thankless job of healer. But we love them. We treat them well. So we're looking to get back into it. It should be fun if we get back into it. Maybe, I think it might happen in the next week or so. I know there's some updates. I'd have to fire up the backup and get the updates done. Your Lala is a demon spawn. Your Lalafells are demon spawn, soulless little creatures that deserve to be punted into oblivion. Little monsters. They are. Dude, it's all the mundane stuff. Dude, the mundane stuff is still there. The mundane stuff, when you go through the story, you roll through it. I mean, you do the story parts of solo, but you still have to group up for dungeons. Trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it. And think about it like this. Somebody could still run mundane stuff if they level a class, they have a job they haven't leveled yet, Kratos. So Dermy has plenty of low-level classes to run. We got other people who just started playing last time we tried. They got low classes. And me, I'm just there to help. I am crafting man. I can craft you anything you want. I can trick you out with the high-level gear, make it a lot easier because I have resources. And if and when Silver comes over, Silver brings his limitless wealth. Silver's one of those guys that has limitless wealth. Me, I have enough. I am fine. I've got tens of millions of gil, but I have to earn that gil. I have to craft. I have to work at it. I don't have anything that rolls in easily. And I was saving up last time to buy a house. But if Silver comes over with all his money, if he and I both chip in together so that he doesn't use all his money, we can get a big old mansion. If one comes up in the lottery, we can get a big old mansion for the free company. And then I can spend my time decorating it because I love decorating the big old mansion. I can have a good old fun time doing it. So I would have endless hours of entertainment for myself doing that. So there's a lot of fun to be had, and there's always stuff to do, especially when you got your buddies there. There's always something to do. There's Gold Saucer. There's the PvP. There's crafting. There's farming. There's doing side adventure quests, all kinds of stuff to do. So even though the game always has some flaws, mostly the end game, it's a fun game. And I need to sneeze. Excuse me. That hurt my chest a little. I strained my chest last week and I still haven't quite recovered. Kratos, I'm telling you, man, it's worth it. It's worth it having a friend to help with gear. It's worth it. Trust me. Weasel's starting from scratch. Derby's essentially starting from scratch. He has a few characters, but they're not high leveled. Kel is in the midst of continually starting from scratch. Trust me, it'll be fun. I guarantee. And adventures galore. And the dungeons are always the same. And hell, there are dungeons that I still don't know of. I haven't done a lot. There are new dungeons that I'm still not good at. They're later down the line. And the story is fantastic. Through Realm Reborn all the way through Endwalker, one of the best stories you could have. And it's fantastic. And if you know Final Fantasy, there's so many great Easter eggs for all the mainline games, even side games. So, I mean, we can't recommend it enough. We can't recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And there's like 18 different classes to choose from to play as. So I'm sure you'll find something you'll enjoy, something you'll like. So I love it. It's so much fun, but it's fun to play with people you have a good time with. By yourself, it gets boring real fast because randos eventually suck. I mean, you can't avoid randos because when you play the large-scale raid system, that's like a 60-man raid or a 30, 45, I forget, like 40, 50-man raid. It's insane. 24-man, 24-man, 8 times 3. Duh. 24-man raids are large. You can't avoid randos, but people go in there. They're there to do the job. Nobody fucks around. And you need to know it, but there's so much to do. It's a lot of fun. I can't recommend enough. So we're probably going to do that probably the next week or so. We're going to have fun. Yeah. And the only reason I always stop playing is because I end up by myself and I get bored and I need to move on to something else. But as long as I have people to play with, it's a good time. And if you're playing with your buddies, there's no pressure. No one's harping at you, get your DPS up. Oh, learn to do this better. No one's like, here, we'll teach you how to do this. We'll show you how to do this. I'll direct you how to do that, and we'll have fun together. So if we lose, like, my hope is that we can get at least 8 people playing so that we can do the actual 8-man raids with just us. 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 8 DP and 6 and 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 4 DPS. So that there's no pressure then, so we can have fun with it. Because those ones are not fun to play with randos, because randos are always dicks about that shit. And some of those raids are tough. And they're boss in, they're not raids, they're boss in a box. But those are great. Those are a lot of fun. And I'm hoping to get 8 people in there so that we can actually do those together and have fun with it and get that feeling of winning it ourselves. I mean, I've done all of them up until Endwalker. I haven't done the Endwalker one because I didn't want to do the Endwalker one. It's like I wasn't in the mood for dealing with randos, learning those. But they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. Trust us, it's a lot of fun. A lot of great memories can be made. A lot of fun stuff can happen, and you can be as creative as you want with your character. It doesn't top SWTOR's cosmetic glamour system, but the FF14 glamour system where you can create your look however you want, top notch. Great looks. And the mounts, I like mount hunting. It's fun. So I'm looking forward to going back. We're going to do this. I'm looking forward to I'll get a 3-month sub. We'll have some fun. It's a lot of fun. And it's great to chill. We don't have to stream it. Dermy will stream it, but none of us have to stream it. Hang out, play, and it's great for hanging out in downtime when we're not doing anything else. Fucking around. Like you guys do shit. I'll spend like an hour running circles, farming crystals and shards for whatchamacallit, for crafting. They got the Power Ranger armor. Yeah, there was essentially Power Ranger armor. And here's the thing. It has a cash shop, but it's all glamours. It's all cosmetics. It's not pay to win at all. Not pay to win at all. So it's great. I love it. I mean, I've got a mount. I earned the mount. I didn't buy. I may one day buy the space whale from Final Fantasy IV, but I have a car. You know, I can drive you guys around. I can fly you guys around in the car from FF15. It's great. Power Ranger poses too. Yeah, I didn't get those. Not gonna get those. All right. We've had our fun. Let's get going. Usual rules apply. $5 for an Adam rant on just about anything within reason. Usually pop culture, we prefer it. $10 to ask me a question, whatever you may be. Adam, how do you feel about this? Adam, how do you feel about that? Might be a fun one. Kratos got me to say weird stuff yesterday. Also, $10 to rent me for 30 minutes to play a video game. We've accomplished that many times already. I'm stuck in a never-ending loop for party animals now. $15 to have me do a hot take reaction to an article I may show you or one you may have you want me to read. Hot take, no time to prepare. Just read it and go. $20 to get me to watch a video. And $30 to have me watch an episode of television or a movie and review it live on stream. We did it twice this week. Those will be uploaded to the channel tomorrow and Sunday, most likely. And that's the rules. That's the rules. And as I said, we've already got 2 videos from Kratos today, both Internet Historian. That's going to be the stuff today, probably, because I got nothing. But there is news, of course. So let's dive right in. We've dicked around enough. Let me refresh everything, as always, because it has been half an hour since I fired up these pages. I want to make sure we're up to date. And indeed, it changed. All right. Let's bring it up. And freaking ads, motherfuckers. Okay, here we go. Variety, as always, as the number one shill out there. Wide variety of crap. Most we skip over these days. Palm Royale sets season 2 release date. I don't even know what Palm Royale is. I need people to tell me these things. Are You My First? Producers on verifying whether contestants were actually virgins. You could just tell. Well, you know, when it comes to a woman, there's a way to find out. There's a way to know. As for dudes, you can kind of tell. You can kind of tell. Listen, no dude's ever going to admit to it after a certain point if they relate. You know, they're not going to admit to it. Institute renewed for season 2 at MGM Plus. Again, I don't know what these are. MGM Plus. What is MGM Plus? Is it MGM owned by Amazon? Why would it be on Amazon? Zach Kroger's Weapons crosses 100 million at domestic box office. Domestic. This movie was in profit last weekend between domestic and international, so it's doing fine. Kenneth Bloom on the music behind Look, don't care. Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell on their big, bold, beautiful journey chemistry and a hot Harley Quinn Penguin crossover that would be Demented Couple. Why would you pair them together? And I don't know. Whatever. All we do know is that Colin Farrell allegedly has famously an 11-inch penis. Apparently. I've heard that over the years. Pam Anderson, Kristen Stewart, and Kim Novak to attend Duvel American Film Festival. Don't care. Apparently, Matt Reeves didn't want Birds of Prey to use Penguin as a villain because he was working on the Batman for that. Don't care about that. Who cares about that? Let's go to the next one. The next page. Dorka Vermes places half empty. Oh, it's a nothing day. There's nothing going on here. Nothing at all. Look in here. Netflix has a Jewish animated family sitcom from BoJack Horseman. Okay. Just because I'm Jewish doesn't mean I want to watch it. The price of Apple TV is raising its prices. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. For what? You've got shows, but nobody watches them. Here we go. Yeah, there's nothing going on today, man. What did you just jump? Oh, what'd you do? It's a quiet Friday. It's a really quiet Friday. They want Nick Cage in True Detective season 5. I've never even seen True Detective season 1, except for the clip where you see her boobies. That's all I've seen. Let's go to IGN. All right, so Donkey Kong Bonanza's B button digging is because of Shigeru Miyamoto. Don't care. TMNT 2 Secret of the Ooze gets theatrical re-release next year. I guess there's a nostalgic little spot in my heart for that movie. There it is. Hollow Knight reaches new concurrent player high on PC ahead of Silksong debut. Once again, what is the deal with this franchise? I don't understand it. I got to blow my nose. Hold on one second. Okay. Again, I don't get what's up with that franchise. I don't. Someone needs to explain it to me. I hear the fan base is annoying. Sekiro, No Defeat will be fully hand-drawn as production company. I heard that's not true. Dermy and I were talking about this last night. Apparently, it's AI. Dermy says he heard it's AI. and that it doesn't look good. The Mandalorian actor Katie Sackhoff says The Mandalorian destroyed her confidence as she didn't understand her character. Disney Star Wars, folks. Bring in good character, genre actors like Katie Sackhoff, and she has no idea what to fucking do because characters like Bo-Katan, created by Dave Filoni, are dog shit. Thank you. Thank you. Tim Schafer wasn't hands-on with Keeper's development. He's working on other projects at Double Fine. I don't even know who this dude is. Should somebody tell me who it is? Should I know who he is? If I did, I've forgotten. Stardew Valley creator confirms he takes no money when collaborating with other games. As Doctor Who renewal drama drags on, BBC says show will continue with or without Disney. That's a bold statement there, BBC, because you got no money for it. You've got no money. No money. Battlefield 6 is making big changes to movement, playlists, and player count thanks to beta feedback. Listen to your beta testers. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater includes remake of fan favorite secret mode from original PS2 version. I never played these games, so I have no opinion on this. Devil May Cry animated series drops season 2 trailer and confirms 2026 release. Didn't watch the first season, not going to watch the second season. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 campaign does not have difficulty options. Treyarch confirms. Yeah, why don't you talk about the real story concerning Black Ops 7, the fact that it's been trashed by everybody. Nobody wants it. Extraction shooter Escape from Tarkov finally has 1.0 release date 8 years after initial launch. So it's been in early access for 8 years. That's not good. Never even heard of this game. Splinter Cell Death Watch, new trailer poster and voice cast revealed. Liev Schreiber voices Sam Fisher in Netflix animated series set after Chaos Theory. I don't play those games. I don't know that franchise, so I have nothing to speak on that. Chainsaw Man, the Chaos Coming to Hollywood Horror Nights film. Horror Nights. I guess if you're into Chainsaw Man, that'll be cool. I'm not into Chainsaw Man, and I don't like that Halloween haunted house stuff anyway. So, everything announced at Walt Disney World's big 2025-2026 preview showcase. Big. I didn't even know they did it. And now we're into yesterday's stuff. The paper to premiere on Peacock. Bungie CEO leaving company. Blah, blah, blah. Evo changes hands on against Sony stake. Wow. Look, there's nothing happening today, man. Nothing at all. It's a good thing we got some videos to watch. Review. Peacemaker Season 2 premiere proves DCU's James Gunn's vanity project. Wow. It's almost like we've been saying that for a long time. That James Gunn makes what James Gunn wants. I don't care about Peacemaker. I'm not going to watch it. I don't want to watch it. I will review movies, not the crap television. Leave it to other people. Disney picks Abu Dhabi over the West. Here's the real market they're after. Universal Studios revises Stay and Scream early entry for Halloween Horror Nights. James Gunn teases upcoming DC video games with David Cornswallet as Superman. I press X to doubt that those are actually going to come to fruition. Press X to doubt. Disney turns the Muppets into Broadway. That was yesterday. Okay, so that's yesterday. Gamescom 2025 hijacked by politics, and the game media can't cheer loud enough. Yeah, because they're losing control. Because the gaming media, they've lost control of what to tell us because nobody reads their websites, their articles anymore. Nobody listens to their reviewers because gamers are going to the independent sphere and promoting small AA companies who are putting out good games. And those guys don't need the gaming shills because they're interacting with their fans directly. So, of course, they're happy when an event screams politics because suddenly they see a chance to get control again, which they're not going to. Not at all. All right, that's it. That's the news that I look at, and it's going to be the same stuff repeated everywhere else. So there we go. That's it. It's a slow news day, fellas and fellettes. It's a slow news day. So with that said, why don't we just jump to our videos? Thanks to Kratos, El Grados. We've got 2. I will click on the first one. That's what I will do. I will click on the first one and we will see what it's about. I don't know if it's the short one or the long one because we got 2. It's the short one. Okay, good to start with the short one. Warm us up. So it's Internet Historian today. We like Internet Historian. He's a fun guy. First one is pools closed. I have no idea what it's going to be. Let's go. Let's have fun. Let's check the audio. Audio looks good. Let's go.
The sheriff has declared an emergency.
There's something in the water!
Uh-oh. Oh, whoa.
Go into the water.
Was that titties?
He's got AIDS. Get up.
Oh, no. Oh, no. All kids out of the pool. There's AIDS in the water.
In 2006, a pandemic spread across the world. Extensive research from the CDC revealed
One second. How old is this video? Because he sounds different. I guess 8 years ago. Okay.
Habbo Hotel pool as the point of origin, likely after someone jacked off into one of the filters. Since then, a band of unlikely heroes has worked tirelessly to keep the people safe.
Why?
To close
Why are they black men with afros? I don't understand. I need explanations.
every pool.
What, we Law and Order?
It all started on July 12th. The plan was simple.
I think must be one of his earliest videos because he doesn't have his normal cadence that he does with one of these. His normal cadence.
Create an account, make an avatar, full suit, dark skin, big afro. Log in and block the pool. Hundreds flooded in to block the ladders and
All right, what's Habbo? I don't know what Habbo is. Remember, this is 8 years ago. This is 2017. I'm in recovery still. I'm in recovery. I'm not even playing online games. I'm barely on the internet. All I'm doing I'm on the internet. I'm watching anime, and I'm playing Mass Effect 3. I'm playing whatever games get my hands on while I'm learning to walk again on my foot, and I'm recovering from like straight Chinese COVID. So I don't even know what Habbo is 8 years ago. What is this? I need explanations.
prevent players from catching the AIDS. The mission was an overwhelming success. No one could get into the pool. But then, another threat emerged. On September 4th, Steve Irwin, well-known animal fighter, was killed by a stingray.
Oh man, that was when that happened.
Provoked and en masse, intel indicated that many more stingrays were headed for the Habbo Hotel pool.
A Roblox. Okay, so it was Roblox predecessor, filled with kids and probably PDF files. Okay.
Now the pool was filled with AIDS and stingrays, and most likely those stingrays also had AIDS.
Stingray AIDS? No!
Operation September 11th was launched.
All right, he controlled his laugh there. You could hear it. He's like, I gotta keep it real.
And once again, our heroes marched towards
on September 11th. Oh, it's too soon. Oh no, this is from 2000. Okay, so this shit happened in 2006. 2006. Damn, that's a whole different me. Working in shit kitchens. That's a whole different Adam right there.
The pools. But it wasn't just the Habbo pool that had people worried. Here's one concerned citizen having their own local pool closed.
Hi. There's kind of a...
So this is what they did. 2006, these people made basically black avatars and just would like block the pool with their afros and their suits. Oh, I've seen the name there. Oh my goodness. Let's be honest. The internet is this is why the internet's undefeated. This is exactly why the internet is undefeated.
An emergency. I was swimming in the pool and I cut my leg, and I mean there was a fair amount of blood. It's not enough for me to go to the hospital, but I actually have HIV, and
You were in the pool like right now?
Yes, ma'am. And people could be getting infected
Okay,
right
I
now.
will.
I mean,
I'll go shut the pool.
You didn't close the pool?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Pool's closed.
Oh man, that's a terrible joke, dude. You're going to hell for doing the prank like that. You're going to hell. Seriously.
Hey, everybody out!
Recruitment was at an all-time high. Pools would be
Hold on, I saw that. I know you saw it too.
Recruitment was at an all-time high.
Oh, goddamn internet. Fucking internet trolls, man. Fucking internet trolls. Oh, Lord.
Pools were being shut down left and right. It looked as if our heroes could really achieve a permanent pool shutdown. But then, things took a sharp turn.
Uh-oh.
The racist mods had arrived.
Uh-oh!
They were determined to keep the pool open
All blacks out of the pool.
even though they knew the risks. Bannings left and right. This wasn't a war. This was a massacre. Hundreds of avatars were lost.
No.
But our heroes were not giving up so easily. If they couldn't take the fight to Habbo, they would take it to the streets.
Yeah.
Yes, and what did they exactly tell you?
To evacuate the pool?
Okay, because of HIV, correct?
That's correct.
All right. One of the standard procedures is we need you to go ahead and put a sign outside the pool and tell them why it's closed.
Right, we're doing that right now.
Or what are you putting on the sign exactly? Because there are
due to health and safety.
Yeah, the pool's closed due to AIDS, actually.
Do we have to specify AIDS? I mean.
Oh my
yes.
God. Okay. Pool closed due to AIDS.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're all blackface. Blackface in it.
And
okay, so who's coming down here? And they're gonna test the water when they come down here?
John Robertson.
John Robertson from Tassel, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's coming down here.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we just got an entire pool evacuated, and
then... were they naked there? Hold on a second. Those little black men avatars
so we
naked.
Just got an entire...
Yes, they are all naked on their swastika. Internet trolls, man. Internet fucking trolls.
Pool evacuated, and they now have a sign outside the pool saying pool closed due to AIDS.
But just as the real-life campaign to shut down the pool was reaching its peak, a new challenger emerged. If the mods were trash mobs, she would be the final boss.
Uh-oh, final boss. Who's the final boss? I need to know. I'm invested. I'm invested now.
Banned from a swimming pool. Tonight, their grandmother is outraged.
Trying to make sense of a sign.
She never thought that after 50 years, her grandkids would be the target of such hate.
But this is a sign that one woman who lives in this area didn't expect to see. Mary Alice says when this sign was up, the pool...
You would listen to the Steve Harvey sign with the afro.
Wasn't closed at all.
And I tell myself it's just a bunch of racist, homophobic geeks.
Racist, homophobic geeks. Oh my goodness.
Ridiculing me.
But our heroes weren't about to take it lying down.
This is equivalent to last night or other night where During was on a stream. It's equivalent like don't pick a fight with the Kiwi Farms. This is like picking a fight with Kiwi Farms. You're not going to win. You're not going to win this. That might be Cloud's mom, Kratos. It might be. It might be.
They found her home phone number and made pleas to reason and logic.
Mary Alice received several calls after she began telling her story.
I have been sent from the future to close the pool.
She would not listen. She knew how to make it all about her, and she knew how to play the media.
This kind of stuff is old, and it's ugly, and it's tired, and...
Grandmother grandmother. Is that a wig? Do you think that's a wig? Looks like a wig.
Time for it to be buried.
According to some websites, this image
Oh, you gotta bury the black people, huh?
is associated with a group of hackers who invaded a children's social network.
Okay, they're not hackers. That is so misleading. These aren't hackers. These are a bunch of fucking internet trolls with too much time on their hands in the mid 2000s. Jesus Christ, man.
Working site, just an online inside a joke.
A joke is when two people laugh. I'm not laughing.
Yeah, at worst, they're shit posters. At worst, these are internet trolls. God, you roll with it. The only way to beat them is to roll with it and wait till they get distracted by something else that is going to be more fun for them to shit on. Damn it.
She's not laughing.
She was not laughing.
During our interview, Altorfer learned of a second flyer at the pool.
It's a picture of me with an afro.
Police did collect it for prints.
When they get tired of making fun of a grandma online, they will find something better to do.
For months, she continued a campaign to keep the pool.
And see, there it is. There it is. She actually said the right thing. When they get tired. You know when they're not going to get tired? Because you keep being a dumb bitch about it. If you just let it go, internet trolls will get bored and move on to something else. But she had to make it about her. Had to make it about her.
Logan.
Pool is closed due to AIDS. Also, intermission is over.
In 2009, our brothers prepared for another raid, but they didn't know it could be their last.
No.
The racist mods and devs had changed the rules. They allowed avatars to walk through each other. Nothing could ever be blocked again.
No!
What followed was a series of shitty raids, each more failed than the last.
Aww.
And the fail gave way to infighting. First, there was a faction of skinheads who split away. Then the gingers decided to make their own.
Oh no! Oh, see now we're getting dangerous. They have no souls. They have no souls.
Then there was total communist revolution. In 2010, things only got worse. And by 2011, it looked as though there would never be another successful raid again.
No!
These were the brothers' darkest days, and it was almost certain
It sounded like it sounded like he said darkest AIDS. That's what it sounded like he said this right there.
that the pools would remain open forever. But then, in 2012, a ray of hope.
Now Channel 4 News can reveal that the children's online gaming site Habbo Hotel is inhabited by pedophiles.
Wow, it's almost like I called that at the beginning of the video. As soon as Kel told me it was a predecessor to Roblox, what did I say? PDF files. What did I say? Of course, breeding ground for degenerate fucktards who need to have a date with the wood chipper.
Following our revelations, one of the company's biggest multi-million-pound investors has pulled out.
In one quick shift of fortune, it became possible that not just the pool, but the entire hotel could be closed indefinitely.
It has been the best part of 10 years that Habbo's been going on, and within a week, Channel 4 have managed to basically tear that down.
Admins muted the whole game for a week. No one could talk to anyone, and the player base sank right through the floor. But the best part was, our brothers had reunified.
Yes.
The divisions of the past had been put to the side. They came together to kick Habbo while it was down, and they were coming prepared.
Yeah. Our heroes get their victory in the end.
With their growth in numbers, they didn't need to block. They just had to make a large and annoying presence. and with Habbo's dwindling player base, it was easier than ever.
I think these people need a little education about the HIV virus.
No!
The disease is here.
Oh, God. I forgot they actually did an episode of the Fuck Captain Planet, man.
Protect your children.
I have HIV. I mean, my blood is in the water, and it's not good, you know. I can't.
I gotcha. I appreciate you calling. We will take corrective measures.
We have hourly testing by management staff. We also have weekly testing of our water.
Hold on. Hold on. 1 second. We'll go back with her. Hold on.
Testing of our water.
Hang on. Oh, man. That white girl better be careful. That white girl better be careful. She better be careful in there. Uh-oh.
Pool is closed due to AIDS.
Jesus. This is hilarious.
It's been quite the adventure of highs and lows, pools and AIDS, pedos and stingrays. And now it's 2017. There will be 2 great raids this year. July 12th, the anniversary of the very first raid. And December 1st, World AIDS Day. It's up to you whether you want to come along. But I hope to see you there, brothers.
Oh. That was glorious. You see, from 2006 to 2017, I'm playing like MMOs and shit like that and solo games. I'm not doing that. I didn't know. I had no idea this shit went on. Oh, that's hysterical. That was funny. That was a funny one. Okay, thank you, Kratos, for the first one. What we got here? Okay, so let's go to the next one. This one's a long one. This one's an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, here we go. Hour and 50 moments. It's a re-upload. He's going to apologize to us, apparently. All right, so second one. Our second one of today from Kratos. Man in a Cave, re-upload. Hour 15 minutes. So this will be, when was this one put it? 2 years ago. So this is relatively recent. And this should be good because he's in full form, fully developed internet historian. Let's go.
The upload, fellas. The original got copy struck. RIP. But don't worry, we are working on new main channel videos. Here's a sample of the timelines. In the meanwhile, incognito mode, which has a new video about every 6 weeks, and story mode, which has a new video about every 4 weeks. Thank you for watching a second time.
We've never done a story mode video from him, have we? You should look into that one. Okay.
In the state of Kentucky, there is a cave that every now and then demands a sacrifice.
Is it a chicken? No, I knew a guy from Kentucky once. We called him Chicken Fucker. I mean, he leaned into it, but we still call him Chicken Fucker.
January 30th, 1925. A man walks towards the cave with a kerosene lamp in his hand. He hangs up his jacket and ducks into a 5-foot opening. The inside of the cave is small. He has to go on hands and knees, crawling through passages of sharp stone and choking dust. Then down a chute he had cleared out months earlier. All of the daylight is gone from here, and this lantern is his only source of light.
Is this like an early 1900s cave diver? Because those people are crazy.
Ignoring the loose limestone rocks perched directly above him, he is now 100 feet in, and here he reaches the turnaround room. Now, they call this the turnaround room because this is the juncture where even experienced cavers say, no thanks, and turn around. Because to continue on means going through this.
Okay, all
the
right.
squeeze.
Yeah, I don't understand the mentality for people who do this shit. This shit's crazy.
A gap in the stone of only 9 inches. For reference, here's a subway sub. Going through, he would look exactly like this.
Yeah, this
His
shit.
arms will need to be completely at their side, and he will need to exhale so that he can reduce the size of his torso. Gradually, bit by bit, he disappears into the hole. His clothes are caught on sharp gypsum crystals, hooking into him and threatening to hold him in place. Using just his feet, he pushes himself forward.
Is that Epic Mike?
He reaches a wider opening at the other side, then crawls forward towards a ledge. Lit by the lamp is a drop about twice his height. There's already a rope here. He gently climbs down. His worn-out leather shoes touch the ground. This is as far as he can go, and it is time for work to begin. What he is working on is another opening. At the moment, it's too small for anyone to fit through, but he will chip away at it until he can shove himself right through the other side. Because on the other side is this, an otherworldly cave structure dripping with pristine white crystals. Every day for months, he has been removing rocks from this crevice. To him, this is all just routine. So he shimmies further into the gap.
This is madness.
His body contorting to the shape of the crevice as he wriggles his way in. The walls becoming so tight that he can no longer use his arms. Then, about halfway, he stops. The lantern. It's starting to dim. He will need to go all the way back to the surface to refuel the thing. He sighs. He slowly shuffles back out, pushing the lantern with his shoulder. Then, oh no, ding, crack, darkness. He has knocked over the lamp, and it has broken. The man breathed deeply and relaxed. He had been in worse situations before, and he was confident he could navigate his way to the surface through feel alone. He searches around with his feet to find something he can push against. Ah, there's something, he thinks. But what he doesn't know is that he's pressing against a loose rock on the ceiling. As soon as he puts his weight against it, it comes free. A solid piece weighing 15 kilograms lands directly on his ankle. It aches. But he's okay. It doesn't feel as though his ankle is broken, just badly bruised.
Dude, I can't handle this. Is fucked up shit. There is something wrong with people that do this. There is something wrong with people that do this, man.
Bruised and caught underneath the rock. So he shuffles to move the rock.
And I'm a large man. Even when I'm not slightly overweight as I am now, I'm still a big fucking dude. And I cannot fathom squeezing myself in. And I don't have claustrophobia or anything. I just can't fathom doing this. It's fucked up.
Rock away. Suddenly, gravel. A lot of gravel. It falls onto his feet, his legs, his torso, and the weight of it all forced the rock harder down onto his foot and locks it in place. Every time he tries to move, more rubble falls, holding him tighter. He is stuck. This is Sand Cave.
Fuck around and find out.
This man is Floyd Collins. He is trapped in absolute darkness, 60 feet deep below the earth, all of his limbs held in place at the...
And this is what? That said 1925? Yeah, good luck, dude.
Very bottom of this.
No.
But
No.
before I tell you what happens next, ad time. Speaking of people trapped in a cave, World of Tanks. World of Tanks is not only the best game I have ever played, it is the only game I have ever played. It's like Cars, but tanks. Picture this. You're a hot new T-34-85M, and you've just joined the battle because some Cromwell B tank-bagged your entire family. It's time for revenge. You must use strategy. You must use stealth. You must use your wits to defeat your enemies. Use long range or short range. It's available on console, but I want you to get it on PC. Imagine a world war, but there are tanks involved this time. Yeah, now you get it. When you've seen as many messed up tanks as I have, you get a little cynical about the world. My God, I'm gonna be sick. Look at all the different tanks. You can collectomize and customize them all. Massive battles where you can constantly team kill and ruin other people's good time.
What the f***? I'm on your f***! Yeah!
Design engine, it's historically accurate, especially the Japanese robot tanks. Ooh, look, the tanks are kissing. Progressive. Use the invite code TANKMANIA and get the Excelsior. 250k credits. Other stuff. Go to the link in the description and use the invite code TANKMANIA. Here's what you do. Get World of Tanks. Put that on one screen. Then, on a second monitor, you'll watch the next hour of this video while you play the game. Perfection. I'm contractually obliged to say thank you for being a friend. Sarge, no. Tank's empty, kid. Go on without me. No, use your repair consumable. It's too late, kid. Take care of my family for me. No. Get it. Add. Collins is still in the dark.
This is why we happily watch Internet Historian's ads, because at least he makes it fun. He makes it fun and entertaining.
Unable to move. He can feel the sharp crystals on the ground poking into his back. The ice melts above him, traces across the ceiling, and drips directly onto his face.
Oh no, Chinese
he would
water
shield
torture.
himself against the dripping, except that his right arm is wedged against the roof of the cave, and his left is stuck in place underneath his torso.
You know what this feels like? This is like the worst sleep paralysis you can have, except it's real. You're not going to wake up.
The cold water dripping onto him pools underneath him. Floyd took slow, steady breaths in the concentrated dark. When he did attempt to shuffle, more gravel and rocks would tumble from above and pile onto his feet, so nothing would work. He raked his fingers against the wall until blood pooled underneath his nails, and he realized that there was only one option left. Call out for help. But wait. Who is Floyd, and why did he even go into a dangerous cave?
Okay.
Floyd started his caving career at the tender age of 6. Growing up, exploring the caves of Kentucky was practically all he did.
I mean, when you're done chicken fucking, what else are you going to do?
He would go off on his own, disappearing into the caves for many hours at a time. Have you seen that movie, The Descent? It was a lot like that. He grew up and he became embroiled in the Kentucky Cave Wars. Now, there's way too much to go into here, but the summary version is there's this huge network of interconnected caves called Mammoth Caves. It's actually the largest cave system in the world. And there's a city right in the middle of it. Cave City, real name. So, of course, there are dozens of cave entrances on private property all over the place. Now, farmland in this region has very poor soil, and things do not grow well here. So, cave tourism as a source of income quickly became the prominent thing. However, a problem. There are a very large number of caves, but there are only a limited number of tourists. So competition rapidly escalated. Visit my cave. No. Visit my cave. Big signs were erected saying, tourists, come to me. Mine is definitely open. Mine is the best. But then competitors would respond by saying, hey, by the way, we're open, but don't go to that one over there.
Yeah, don't go to that one. That one's the racist one or something like that. This is 1920s Kentucky. I'm sure racism was involved. That and, don't go over there. That's where the hobos have sex.
It's really shitty. In fact, it's dangerous. This kept going further. By the end, they were blocking off the trail to each other's property, beating each other in the streets, and hiring people called cappers who would dress up as policemen and tell tourists, no, you can't go in there. That what? No, it's illegal. Despite the fierce competition, Floyd found a cave on his property and he started advertising it to tourists. Of course, very few came. All right, he thought, what if I found something really special and unique? Then surely people would have to come to my cave to see it. So he kept exploring and exploring until he found this hollow. It was filled with big gypsum crystals, and when you were in there, it felt like a completely alien.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you have to do the creepy crawl thing, no fucking is a fucking tourist gonna do the creepy crawl thing all the way to your gypsum cave? My God!
World. But it was barely accessible. This small tunnel is the only way in. He would need to dig for months to open it up to tourists, but he knew he could do it. Back to the competition. They knew the
You know, I have a question. Why? I of course, easy answer. It probably calls cave-ins. Why didn't you dig up? Why didn't you open up the other tunnels to get there first?
Value of this cave. They knew the potential. They wanted it for themselves, and they wanted Collins gone. A few months prior, a group of 5 men showed up to his farm unannounced.
Ah, hand over that lease, Floyd,
they said. Floyd, of course, refused. So they turned to violence, knocking him down and savaging the helpless man until Homer, Floyd's brother, came running out of the house with a shotgun. But Floyd was not deterred. He spent 12 hours a day, every day, for months, clearing gravel and stone, chipping away at that passage. He would open it up to tourists, make his cave an incredible attraction, and make his dreams come true.
His dream is terrible.
Hey! Is anyone
So there's Floyd in the dark, yelling out for help, yelling into the pitch black. After a while, his voice would give out, and he would have to sleep to recuperate. He would then wake sometime later, remember where he is, and begin yelling again for help. Here he remained in the dark for the next 23 hours.
Probably shat himself, soiled himself. Good job.
Quickly, you might wonder, how come no one's come for him after 23 hours? Well, Sand Cave resides on a 200-acre farm. There are several homes on this property with other families. One of them, of course, is Colin's house, where Floyd's father, Lee, resides. Now, Lee and Floyd constantly get into fights about how to run things. Lee wants his son to concentrate on farming, and Floyd wants to concentrate on cave tourism. Arguments would often get heated. And Lee was also a bit of a drunk.
Yeah.
It was doubtful that he would even notice if his son Floyd was
What about the brother? What about the brother?
missing. Also not helping things, Floyd regularly lodged at 2 other homes on the farm. So when he didn't return to one host, they would presume that he was staying with the other. And, even worse still, he was known to occasionally sleep in the cave.
Man, this guy's fucked.
Doing stints of up to 30 hours in there without resurfacing. Regardless, around the 23-hour mark, a few locals started to suspect that, hey, something might be wrong, and they went to check up on him. And here, they spotted his jacket still hung up. Unusual. They went deeper. However, there was only one person small enough to make it as far
We called him Jimmy.
as the turnaround room. This was a 17-year-old Jewel Estes. He refused to go into the squeeze, but if he yelled, Floyd would probably hear him.
Floyd!
And Collins yelled back.
Yes, I'm here.
Estes emerges from the cave.
Okay, we know he's trapped, and we know where he is.
So, a whole troop of locals show up. Out of my way.
And now, again, this is 1925. Yes, of course, they have some level of mining excavation technology, but I'm very curious how they're going to get this dude out. Like, this is 1925.
Say a bunch of men who would confidently charge into the cave. But once they reached the final squeeze...
Nope. Nope. Nope.
They would charge straight back out again, saying things like,
There's no way any man could fit in there.
Out of my way, they would say as they were heading in the reverse direction. So a few more hours passed. Word would spread around Cave City and the neighboring areas. Slowly, a crowd formed outside Sand Cave.
Floyd in the cave. Oh my God. Floyd
Why is nobody charging for admittance?
in the cave.
Over in Louisville, Floyd's 22-year-old brother, Homer, he gets a
Oh,
phone
there's
call.
what Homer is.
Hello? I see. My brother. He's trapped in a cave? I'm on my way.
Homer jumps on a coach and makes his way to Floyd's cave. Homer struts up to the scene. He walks past the growing crowd of unhelpful onlookers and makes a beeline for the cave to save his brother. In he goes, down the chute, through the narrowing passages, down on his hands and knees towards the turnaround room. And when he arrives, he does not hesitate. He squeezes into the
Brotherly
hole,
love.
scrambles his way through to the ledge on the other side. He sees Floyd below and slides down to meet him.
Floyd!
Sup?
Probably wasn't that casual.
Oh, thank God you're here.
Homer took a moment to shine his light around the area and assess the situation. It was not good. This rock formation is going to prove almost impossible to work around. All right, so let's have a look. Floyd is here. The rock is here, pinning his ankle. He's surrounded by rubble, and there's a pocket of gravel above him ready to fall. However, because this opening is so small, there are only two viable ways of reaching Floyd and that gravel. Option one, the most obvious, feet first. But if you do this, you have to kind of squat, and your own torso obstructs access to the rubble. Otherwise, option two, come down head first. That will give you better access, but you're trying to move hundreds of pounds of gravel upside down. Worse yet, there's barely an inch around Collins on either side, so good luck getting your arm down near Floyd's ankle to actually free him from the wedged rock.
Okay.
Homer whips around and yells.
Quickly, some food and drink.
They send it through. But first, Homer gives Floyd a liter of coffee to warm him up. Then, as many sausage sandwiches as he can stomach. He manages to down 9 of them. Dietary advice has changed since the 1920s.
Feeling better?
Much better.
Then Homer went to task. He began removing rocks and gravel, tiny scoop at a time, with the help of an old syrup can.
Oh my. All right, by now he has shat and pissed himself several times. Just remember that.
The next 8 hours he toiled, first with hands, then, once enough was cleared, using a crowbar to scoop behind his brother, scraping away sharp protrusions as he went. It was slow progress. Virtually futile. While holding up his body weight with one arm, he would have to use the other to scoop away gravel. Then watch as new gravel would suddenly fall from above and undo all the work. Homer stayed for as long as he could, but after several hours, he was ragged. His teeth chattered uncontrollably. His lungs choked with dust, and the skin on his fingers shredded from the rubble. However, something new. By the time Homer reached outside, he was surprised to see a mob of approximately 100 men and women standing around, drinking, squabbling, and talking big game about how they too were going to save Floyd. The press was also present to help people gawk from afar. Homer shunned them all and rested up in a small tent in front of the cave. Strangers immediately crowded around him to ask innocent but, frankly, frustrating questions and offer unsolicited, obvious advice as well as wildly impractical solutions. Listen, you just have to untie his shoes. Free the foot, free the man, right, fellas?
No. Let's hire a contortionist. We get a hammer and a chisel. We'll have him back by supper.
We should jerk him off, right, guys? All right.
What is that, the cloud solution? That's the cloud solution to everything. Just jerk him off.
I made that
Goon!
good guy up. But you get the idea.
No, he was there. Cloud's a time traveler.
Yeah. A lot of these guys are drunk, by the way, so the discussions very quickly went from 0 to 100. Hey, New idea. How about dynamite? We'll simply blow him out. One group formed, insisting it was a great idea, and another saying, no, the explosion will kill him, and the weight of the new rocks will surely crush him. They shouted at each other for a while, until someone suggested, hey, how about gas torches? We can use acetylene torches to cut through the rock and make the hole bigger. No, that'll cook him, or the gas will fill the cave and kill everyone inside. They fought over that too. But by far the most common suggestion was to simply cut off the foot. Never mind that the foot itself was unreachable, and never mind that he'd lose so much blood he might not make it back to the surface, and never minding even more that Floyd was strongly reluctant to the idea.
Whatever you do, don't cut my foot off.
Homer could have easily ignored all of this pointless bickering, except that not one of them would just brave the damn cave and continue shoveling away the gravel. The formula was always the same. Bold, fearless men would strut into the cave with sandwiches and blankets, then reach the turnaround room and immediately lose their nerve, then dump it all outside of the hole, and then return back outside and go, oh, absolutely. No, he says, thanks for the food. Thank you so much. Yum, yum. No one would go through that squeeze. Dozens more men would try. All of them would fail. February 2nd, 9 a.m. So far, Homer has
This is nuts. Nuts.
been the only person who has been face to face with Floyd. And that would continue to be true until here we are at the Louisville Courier. There's a spirited young newshawk named William Miller. He's talking to his boss, and he's trying to convince him that it's a great idea for him to cover the story of the man trapped in the cave.
Listen up, boss. I'm hearing talk of a man in a cave. He's stuck down there, and I want to get down there too. Get to the nitty-gritty, you hear?
This is an opportunity for some good PR, Miller. I'm in. But I want us to sponsor that rescue. Picture this. Man saved from cave by Louisville Courier, the finest newspaper in the state. That'll drum up plenty of interest.
24-carat idea, boss. I'll make it happen. I'll get down there toot sweet.
So off Miller goes to Floyd's cave. Back over at the cave, Homer is sitting outside trying to recuperate. As Miller wanders up, Homer is not interested in giving an interview. He wants someone to help. So as Miller asks questions, Homer tries his best to show contempt.
Sure.
Frustrated, Homer bluntly says,
Listen, you want more information? The hole's right behind me. Why don't you go take a look yourself?
Miller thinks for a moment, then says, yeah, all right. He grabs a lantern and crouches down to enter the cave.
Oh, here we go. A new hero enters
As
the
he
field.
walked, cold water filled his shoes. He was stepping in newly formed puddles. That water is coming from the inside of the cave as the temperature slowly increases and the frost inside melts. The stable environment of the cave is starting to change.
Uh-oh.
That is thanks in no small part to the growing crowd of gawkers. To stay warm, they were building fires and hanging around the entrance of the cave
Hey, it's a party. What else are you going to do?
to shelter from the elements. But nonetheless, Miller presses on, and all that's left is that final squeeze, and he's there. He stops. He takes a moment and decides to call out to Floyd.
Floyd!
Hearing there is someone on the other side, he feels ashamed not to try. Into the dark he went.
No.
Through the 9-inch squeeze. The crystal gypsum cuts into his elbows and tugs at his clothes. He gets snagged. He's spluttering through the pools of muddy water. He stops, collects himself, and pushes on. He can barely inhale. If he gets stuck in here, he can only hope that someone else can come in from behind and pull him out by the legs. But eventually, he makes it through. Fantastic. He is now on his belly, looking down at Floyd. He sat right next to Floyd, ready to interview him. But Floyd didn't really answer any of his questions.
Because Floyd is sitting in his own poop and dying.
At the moment, he is sitting in a pool of water that is 12 degrees, slowly sapping his body temperature. He is dying from exposure. The cold
I guess there's the cold water too.
is diminishing Floyd's mental faculties, and he can barely make sentences. There's nothing Miller can do, so he hurriedly turns around. He works his way back through the squeeze, past the turnaround room, and out into the daylight. Homer turns to Miller. Proof that he had made it all the way to Floyd is soaked onto his mud-stained clothes. No longer frustrated.
And immediately a new bromance was formed.
With the young reporter, instead, he excitedly runs over to him.
You and me. Together, we can get Floyd out of there.
Now, there were two people who could help rescue Floyd.
Bromance.
Now, helping with the rescue was not the only thing that Miller did for Floyd. Perhaps even more crucially, his reporting was responsible for turning Floyd into a nationwide story. Miller took interviews, relayed first-person accounts, and would spend many hours with Floyd himself in that cave. He gave an insight into the story that only a first-person account could, and in turn gave the public a figure who they would deeply relate to. Updates to the story would be printed in over 1,000 local and national newspapers. You couldn't escape it. It was also the era when radio became a regular feature for regular Americans. Radio allowed something new: hourly updates, letting people get engrossed into the story. So, mostly thanks to Miller, the story of Floyd over the next week would grow and grow. And everybody wanted to know, will this man make it? Back outside the cave, someone new entered the story.
Oh.
Robert Burton. He would become the third man to reach Floyd, a firefighter from Louisville, thin-framed, but muscular. He got scratched up pretty good and soaked by the pooling water. But he made it through with little fuss, and he confidently lowered himself down to Floyd's position. It was not an optimistic sight. Floyd's condition was deteriorating.
Well, we've got a heck of a problem here, but I think I can get you out with a rope.
Wait, what is he? Why is he Australian all of a sudden?
Floyd nods in approval.
Go on.
We might just pull your bloody leg off.
Just pull my leg off then. Get me out of here.
Burton returned to the surface and faced the crowd. He announced,
"We will attempt a rope pull."
I don't know if that's a good idea. You're just gonna tear his foot off.
Yeah, hold on. What about the sharp rocks? Raking through all that, and there'll barely be a body left to bring to the surface.
When you think about this for a second here, he's been down there for 3 days. He sapped of energy. He's going to have to be literally pulled through the entire cave. He will not be able to push himself through any of that winding squeeze stuff. He's a lump. That's going to be rough.
A physician stepped forward with authority. The ligaments in the foot are strong, but if you pull on the torso without a harness, all you'll likely do is tear his internal organs. But Floyd is dying of exposure down there. The situation is becoming desperate. Burden put caution to the side.
The time for strategy is over. Now we try brute force.
Hey! Brute force solves everything. Whoa, were they in that tent together? Gross. Ah! Grab people. No! Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Floyd! We're here. We're gonna get you out of here.
After 79 hours in the cold water, he is delirious, fading in and out of consciousness.
I'm gonna put the special harness around you. Burton and Miller, they're here too. We got 3 more boys right up the cave, and they're all ready to pull as hard as they can to get you out of here.
Floyd was frightened.
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna hurt.
No one knew quite how this would go. Floyd was given some food, some coffee, a large swig of whiskey, and a sedative. That sedative would keep him calm if his ankle bone is snapped or the skin on his foot is peeled off.
Yeah.
Floyd took the opportunity to appreciate being surrounded by friends and family.
Go on. Do it. All right. Strap him up.
Homer attached a harness. He ties on the rope. Miller gives the signal.
Ready.
Burden gives the final all clear.
Ready.
Everybody braced for the tug of war. Cave versus man. The winner gets Floyd.
3, 2.
Wow, we still got a long time to go in this video. Still got a long time to go, man. This ain't getting resolved.
1.
Pull!
The force of 6 men pulled against the clutches of the cave. Floyd began to scream. His body was being pulled up from the rubble. The gravel was beginning to shift. Burden's calls echo through the cave.
Pull harder!
Floyd screamed harder as well. All right, so Floyd is trapped laying down like this. But the pulling of the rope wrenches him up like this.
Yeah.
His torso was being compressed and bent against the ceiling of the trap. It would kill him. Floyd's screaming intensified, and through gasps was begging them to stop. But it did not stop. The agony continued. On and on, with no progress.
Enough! Enough! You guys are killing him!
Homer quickly spun around and started pulling against the other men. He threw his legs onto the rocks and propelled himself backwards, 1 man versus 5.
I said stop!
Coursing with adrenaline, he pulled the rope free from their clasp. The tug of war was over. The cave had won. Floyd fell back down. Homer, Miller, Burden, and the other 3 men were flat on their backs, panting for breath. The cave would not let this man go. The futility of the situation sank in, and all they could do was leave for now and rest. Outside, the number of spectators had increased to 200. They buzzed and asked useless questions, and Homer walked dejectedly past them. He sat by thinking what he could do. The cause seemed hopeless.
Homer?
And then MacGyver showed up.
Then someone showed up who could turn things around.
MacGyver?
He looked up to see a childhood friend of both his and Floyd's, Johnny Gerald. He was just the man for the job. He was an experienced caver, and he was an experienced cave-trapped person rescuer.
All right, let me go see him. Well, look who it is.
Floyd perked up immediately.
Yay.
Thrilled.
Yay. Oh, boy.
To see Gerald. The sparkle from Floyd's gold tooth could be seen in his smile.
Wait, we're first learning he has a gold tooth now? Why was not this information imparted to us earlier?
All right, let's see what we can do.
Gerald jumped down. And then, for the next 3 hours, Gerald went back to the original plan of digging away the rocks. His stamina was good, and progress was surprisingly good as well. For several more hours, he continued, just moving stone after stone. New one would fall in his place, and he'd move that one too. By midnight, he had enough room to shift position and clear some of the gravel that was at each side of Floyd's body. Gerald would spend several more hours scooping. And it worked. Slowly, more and more of Floyd's body was coming free from the rubble. The lower shoulders, his chest, even his hips and thighs. It was incredible progress, but Gerald wasn't done yet. He kept going until practically all of the rubble, except a few harder-to-reach piles down by his legs, remained. The relief from the weight made it significantly easier for Floyd to breathe and flex his limbs. Over the course of those few hours, Gerald managed to scoop away more than 1,000 pounds of debris. But there was still a lot more to go. And that rock by Floyd's foot was still holding him in place. By 2 a.m., Gerald was spent. He needed rest, and he was ready to head back outside.
Floyd, tomorrow, you're gonna be a free man.
Now here you might think that things will become straightforward. They did not. Now that space had been cleared, Burden became convinced that if he could get down that passage again, he could free Floyd with another rope pull.
Uh-oh. Rope Man. Rope Man's gonna be a problem, I think.
fate deciding with both feet or just one. So Burden marches up to the cave once again, but when he tried to enter, they shoved him in the other direction. The crowd was acting as a sort of phalanx, and anyone who tried to get in was told to get lost. They had been specifically instructed to not let anyone in, and they were especially opposed to Burden making another rope pull after word spread about the disaster of the first attempt. He tried to reason with them.
Let me try the rope pull again. It'll work this time.
But they would not hear it. Oof. Of the three other people who could reach him, Gerald and Homer are out exhausted and sick, which leaves only Miller, who is tied up with work. With Burden barred from entering, Floyd was left on his own, wondering why it was that no one would visit him.
Hello? Is anyone there? Help! Hey! Anyone out there?
Now, the work Miller was doing was handing over reports to his boss about Sand Cave. Those reports would be fed through the news grapevine to the Associated Press, and the
100 hours. So, yeah, we're into like 72 hours, 20. We're heading into day 5 at this point. Heading into day 5.
Associated Press would send that out to its very large affiliate network. The word was spreading about Floyd. By afternoon, Miller was done with his work and he hurried back to the cave. So he gets inside and, his eyes didn't have to work half as hard to adjust to the dark. Someone had installed electric lights from the entrance right all the way down to Floyd. Miller popped down to the lower level.
Ah, Floyd! Fancy seeing you here, buddy!
When Miller reached Floyd, he took the final bulb and attached it to his collar to keep him warm. Then, reusing that syrup tin, he started offloading gravel into buckets. Those buckets were then passed up and down the cabin, like an assembly line.
Hey!
And so
there you go.
It went on for the next few hours, until he was too tired and needed to rest. Miller then took some time to have a bit of a one-on-one with Floyd. He said, there are a lot of people in the news that are reading about you and have you in their prayers.
And they have one question. Can you feel your penis?
Is there anything you want me to relay to them? Floyd had been in that cave for over 100 hours now, and seeing everyone working together, Floyd was overcome with a sense of hope and relief. Floyd wanted to pass on a message. Here is what he is quoted in the newspaper.
I believed I would go to heaven. I can feel that I'm to be taken out alive and with both my feet. I kept thinking, what would happen if the rock above me would fall? It caused me to shudder. I kept thinking to drive my mind to something else, but it wasn't much use. I couldn't do much to help those who came to help me, but I knew that a lot of people were willing to do all in their power. It gave me courage. Tuesday morning, I thought to myself, 4 days down here, and no nearer freedom than I was on the first day. How will it end? Will I get out? I couldn't think of it. I have faced death before. It doesn't frighten me, but it is so long. Tell them I am not going to give up. Tell them I'm going to fight and be patient and never forget them.
I call you a retard for doing this in the first place. That's what I say.
Meanwhile, news of the incident kept growing. The entire country was captivated by Floyd's story. Crowds huddled around newspaper stands each morning and afternoon, waiting to get any new drips of information. It became a water cooler topic. Did you catch the latest episode of Game of Caves? He had the prayer power of practically every church in the county. Even the upper echelons of government were keeping tabs on Floyd. Congress halted session to get their little updates, and even the president, Calvin Coolidge, took a glancing interest. By the end, the Floyd Collins incident would explode into the third largest non-political story between World War I and World War II.
Damn.
All of this excitement brought an inundation of people to Cave City. Old population, 690. Yawn. New population, 10,000. The bank vaults ran empty as people withdrew cash to spend around town, but they wouldn't have much to spend it on because restaurants didn't even have enough stock to feed all the new customers. Practically every hotel room in the county was taken, so residents capitalized with a 1920s version of Airbnb and charged outrageous fees to offer places to sleep on their bedroom floor or in mattress-lined bathtubs. And 4,500 automobiles impatiently sat, backed up for 2 miles from 20 different states to drive onto the Collins farm, churning up all the pristine green fields with their tires and turning them into brown muck paddocks. Deep below all those tourists, there's Miller, trying to free Floyd. All right, a little bit of setup. Floyd, Miller, some remaining rubble, rock. For anyone to lift the rock by hand would be impossible because Floyd's body obstructs the hole. Miller grabs a crowbar and shoves it through the gap. Now he's going to lever it off Floyd's foot. Cool. The crowbar is now primed in place. Next, he takes a jack. He positions it on top of the crowbar so that it will be forced against the ceiling. However, problem. That jack is too big. It doesn't fit. Miller yells up.
This is where you need MacGyver. You need MacGyver. MacGyver would figure out how to do this.
Up the tunnel for a smaller one, but this took some time. And when it arrived, too small, won't reach the ceiling. But instead of sending for another one, Miller takes 2 blocks of wood and bolsters them underneath the crowbar. Right, so the crowbar now sits higher, it fulcrums against the blocks, and the jack is sitting on top. All Miller has to do is expand the jack, which he will do using this spanner, holding it at the very tips of his fingers.
With his dick in Floyd's face.
Fingers. Sounds easy. It's not. But that's the plan. Let's get him out of there. He turned the wrench. The jack expanded, and the crowbar took strain. The whole thing slid apart with a pang. Floyd wasn't hurt, but Miller was contorting and exerting his whole body from back to fingertip. They tried again. Same result. Undeterred, Miller caught his breath and gave it another shot. He slowly turned the jack. Pressure building. And this time, Miller could feel the rock move. It bloody moved. He kept turning the wrench and the rock moved a little more. His hands were shaking, knees weak, his arms are heavy. Pang. One of the wood blocks flew out. It all scattered apart. The rock painfully slammed back down on Colin's foot.
You'll get it next time, Miller. Try again.
Miller kept on trying. Countless attempts. He kept pushing himself deeper into the trap, finding new approaches. Damn the blocks. No, try the blocks again. Clear some more rubble. Floyd, unable to help physically, is supporting him in spirit at least, cheering him on.
Yay.
And Miller kept going and going and going until he had nothing left. For the next 4 hours he tried. No progress. Miller was exhausted. He couldn't do this on his own, but he was the only one slim enough to get in through the gap. The group decided to concede for now and return to the surface. They would take just a small break, but it looked to everyone like there was a clear way to get this man out. So Miller and Burden crawled back through the mud and the wines of the cave. As they made their way through...
I mean if I would have started trying to chip at the stone. You know, just try and break it apart.
The cave was visibly sagging. The ceiling seemed lower. Parts were harder to navigate than before, doubly so with their bruised and rock-shredded hands. They stepped outside and took in the fresh country air. But as their eyes adjusted to the light, they saw something new. A man named Henry Carmichael was standing in front of a
That's a black man.
sizable crowd of engineers in hard hats and soldiers in military uniform. Now, Henry is the superintendent of the Kentucky Rock Asphalt Company. The engineers are his employees, and the men in military garb are the National Guard. Now, Carmichael has been quietly looking at the situation from afar, and he is thoroughly unimpressed. This is no rescue operation.
Amateur.
Once Miller and Co. call it quits, Carmichael had 2 of his employees do a proper survey of the cave and see if it was suitable to bring in his whole team of men. The 2 surveyors go in. As the passage led down to Floyd,
They're going to say this place is a death trap. That's what they're going to say.
It was showing alarming signs of deterioration. You could see the splitting of the rock above. Boards were slipping out of place or splintering. Small rocks tumbled down the walls. They soon came back with a report. It was not good.
Death trap.
All right, so the following is a recounting of events from one of Carmichael's men, Casey Jones. Casey and another worker spent about an hour in the cave, surveying its condition, looking at the boards, the ceiling, the stability of the walls. Casey continued deeper towards Floyd. He was fighting against his nerves. The shifting of the rock pinged his every instinct to flee. But he could hear Floyd calling out for help in the distance. Summoning all of his courage, he pushed himself on, through the final squeeze and over the ledge that looked down on Floyd. Rubble continued to drop from the ceiling, bouncing all around him. The ceiling felt closer to him than it was before, but maybe that was just the dark playing tricks?
Please, come down.
I can't right now, Floyd, but I will when I get back.
Now, Casey is being pulled in two directions.
No, come back. Come on. Let's get out of here already.
Please, I'm so thirsty.
Okay.
Casey climbed down next to Floyd.
Quick, drink,
said Casey as he tried to pour some coffee into Floyd's mouth. But Floyd turned his head and...
Coffee, that dehydrates you. Coffee doesn't hydrate. Coffee dehydrates because caffeine can dehydrate you. Water.
Kept his lips pursed. The rocks were falling at a faster rate now, the loud cracking out above, sounding like thunder. In that moment, Casey realized what was happening. Floyd was not really asking for a drink. Floyd knew that a cave-in was inevitable. Scared and approaching his 5th day trapped, he was completely at his wit's end. He knew he was about to be trapped in that cave, and he didn't want to be trapped.
I'm gonna take you with me,
alone.
bitch.
For God's sake, Casey, come on. You're going to get us killed.
Stay with me, please. Don't leave.
Casey quickly turned away and scrambled back up the ledge.
Nah, bitch.
He made his way back through the final squeeze, his limbs scrambling against the cave walls. It seemed as if everything around him was shrinking. He made it out, and he joined his co-worker. They both turned around and watched on in horror as the yellow of the bulb was being swallowed by the dark. Rubble fell fast and heavy until no light could be seen at all.
And thus
Rocks
Floyd was
blocked
fucked.
out Floyd's panicked cries. The one route to Floyd was now sealed shut, a tomb of rock and dust.
Dynamite time!
It's morning. Burden and Miller jump out of their tents, ready for the day. They're feeling optimistic. Today will be the day that they get Floyd out of there. And they're packing some new tools to help them with the job. Wire to wrap around the wooden blocks, that'll stop them from slipping. And a blowtorch to carve away some of the rock, make the hole a bit bigger. But when Miller got to the turnaround room, all of that optimism left him.
Wait, wasn't there somebody there just to tell them, hey, yes, sorry, cave in. You're fucked.
The entrance to the squeeze was now just a pile of debris. Miller froze, staring at it for a long while. Then he sighed and did the only thing he could think: make an opening through that rubble. But the more he raked away, the more fell in its place. It was never ending. He persisted, ignoring the danger around him. Thud. A large piece of debris landed on him. Luckily, it was only dried clay. He is uninjured. But recognizing the danger, Miller returned to the surface. 15 minutes later, he emerged from the cave with a bloodied up nose and bruises down his back and shoulders. Burden caught sight and races over to him. Miller just says, "For God's sake, don't let anyone go back in there." Miller leaves the site. Burden doesn't know what to do. Over at the house, Homer is terribly ill and out of action, and that just leaves Gerald. Now he comes marching up when he hears the news, and he is livid. He told the crowds to keep away or the whole thing would cave in, and they didn't listen. Then exactly that thing happened. And what were they supposed to do now? The rest of the day was spent squabbling and bickering over who was to blame. You caused the cave-in. No, you caused the cave-in.
Oh, cave your bloody head in, mate.
And Floyd spent the rest of that day alone.
All right, so what, we're 6-7
The
days in
surveyors
now?
continued checking the cave throughout the day. At 6 p.m., Carmichael had ordered everyone to an assembly. Gerald took the floor. He was going to give this one last shot. Gerald addressed the crowd.
Listen up. There's death down there. The walls and ceilings are crumbling. Unless you're determined to take the biggest chance you ever took in your life, tell me now and stay outside.
Next, they told all the Gawkers to get the hell out of the cave. Clear off. And so, Gerald went in and out of that cave half a dozen times, working away at the rubble, blocking access to Floyd, leaving only when he suspected another cave-in or to get food and water. Men on the sidelines were supplying new timber. A group of men helped Gerald to prop up the ceiling and guard against further collapse. Gerald toiled away at the pile, eager to reach his friend. He worked steadily, mindful of the danger poised right above him. Bit by bit, he reduced that pile until a light. He called out, yelling updates through the hole.
Bad news. We can't reach you. But hold on. We're coming.
Gerald continued. The pile got smaller still. The gap was large enough now that Gerald thought he might be able to fit.
Okay, that's enough. Floyd, I'm going for now. But when I get back, I'm gonna get you out of there.
Gerald scrambled back out the cave, over to the men, and through panted breaths he said,
Gather the equipment, and in an hour's time, it's gonna be me and Floyd coming out of that cave.
Gerald entered Sand Cave for his final time. The walls had been reinforced,
All time.
but mud and water was accumulating everywhere.
We got 20 minutes.
He waded through it and pressed on past the danger of the sagging ceiling. With determination on his face and a grease gun clutched in his right hand, he scrambled towards Floyd. But before the final squeeze, he stopped. It was all gone.
Oh, no.
Another cave-in, even worse than the first. He thought about how he could have been on the other side of that rubble. His mind raced, weighing out what to do. He shouted,
Floyd!
As a not-so-subtle reminder of the danger he was in, a rock fell from the ceiling and cracked Gerald across the head.
Ow.
Luckily, just a small one. He felt around for blood and kept shouting.
Floyd!
He could definitely hear a voice, but it was faint. Gerald was scared that this was Floyd's last shot at rescue, and he threw himself against the pile and pulled it away with finger and nail, launching the debris behind him with force, tearing at the pile like a man on fire. Dust bellowed, rocks flew, and he kept shouting out for Floyd as he went.
Floyd!
Until finally, the cave had had enough. It let loose a large, jagged rock aimed straight at Gerald, striking him on his back.
Oh, no.
Gerald stumbled out of that cave, injured and defeated.
No! He's dead. He is so dead.
Only after the cave-ins did they start to think about all of the things that they could have done.
Wait, why didn't we rig a portable telephone line? That would have been incredibly simple here in 1925.
Yeah, why have we been running in and out to deliver updates?
Why didn't we give him an AM radio? He could have had something to listen to and receive messages of support from the public.
Wait, why don't we rig up a tarpaulin so we could lift his torso up so he wouldn't be slowly dying of exposure?
Oh God, why didn't we run a feeding tube? That's also a technology we have in 1925.
All too late. Now what? The one route to get to Floyd is closed forever. That meant two options. Number one, capitulation. Surrender him to the cave. Or number two, dig down from directly above Floyd.
Yeah.
Now, the prospect of digging from above seemed almost fanciful. At least, it did in the beginning. But luckily, they had some help. Owing to Miller's reporting, Floyd had become practically the most famous person in the country. The rescue had become a high priority for the governor of Kentucky. Lieutenant General Denhart enters the scene. He's been updated on the situation, and following short...
I like that. Former Brigadier General. Yeah, because that was the previous rank. Brigadier, Lieutenant. Yeah.
Behind him is a small army of miners...
Oh, sorry. It said Lieutenant Governor. Sorry. I thought it said Lieutenant General. Sorry. Sorry. Never mind.
And engineers. He declared to the despondent crowd, "Gentlemen, I am here on behalf of the governor. The purse strings of Kentucky are open. Take this blank check and bring that man out alive." Floyd, in that cold, wet confine, could not have imagined the scale of the operation that was going on 55 feet above him. Authorities assumed control of Collins' rescue. Denhart gave Carmichael control over the site, and Carmichael raced to get to work. Carmichael rallied up his men, his fleet of expensive high-tech machinery. Professional groups were brought in from all across the state. No longer was this the ad hoc effort of a few individuals. It was a professional and organized rescue. No more squabbling and standing around. Everyone knew what they had to do, and they were working as fast as they could. But just as hopes were rising, they were once again dashed against the rocks. They had all of this state-of-the-art machinery shipped in and assembled by the engineers and rearing to go. And it was all worthless. See, the problem is the cave drew air into it. These diesel-powered engines pumped out enormous volumes of choking exhaust. Within a day's operation, the cave would be filled with carbon monoxide, and Floyd would be dead from asphyxiation. Just as quickly as solutions would arise, the cave would parry them away. It refused to let this man go. This useless machinery was now blocking the path to Floyd, which means they would have to spend the next couple of hours disassembling all of it and moving it away. Because they're about to dig a 55-foot pit the old-fashioned way, by hand.
How is he still alive?
Carmichael's expertise was in quarries, but the principles transferred over to caving and digging holes. He did some quick back-of-the-envelope math. I've got 75 men. They can dig at 2 feet per hour, and we have to go 55 feet deep. That means we can get to those men in roughly 30 hours, give or take. Now, is it possible that Floyd could survive for another 30 hours? Absolutely. Let's go. 4 men started at great pace. The soil was soft and easy to dig. But as they got deeper, it became more difficult. The deeper the shaft, the narrower it became. Soon, instead of 4 men, they could only fit 2. Carmichael understood well that this was a race against time, so it was important that these 2 men were working at full capacity. Carmichael had a queue of men on the sidelines, poised to dig, and the moment that either of the 2 men in the hole slowed down, they pulled them out and threw in a new one. Nonetheless, progress slowed the deeper they went. About a quarter of the way down, they reached rock, and one of the men would have to work a pickaxe, leaving only one to shovel. At this step, rubble couldn't just be flung into a pile. They had to start loading it into buckets, which would have to be pulled to the surface on ropes. Then men outside were ready with wheelbarrows to cart that downfield. Time passed. Hours passed.
He's dead.
Night went to day. The day was hot.
He's been in there. Shit, I don't have my phone here. Shit, hang on. I gotta do the math. Hold on a second. 166 divided by 24. He's been in there almost 7 days. That dude's been in there almost 7 days now. Literally. He's dead.
This was yet another problem, because it's early February, there's tons of ice still in the ground, and its exposure to the midday sun was causing it to become unstable. and the ground was becoming sodden as a result. Progress slowed once again, just half a foot per hour. There was little for Colin's friends and family to do but watch the clock and pray. Interestingly, though, there were a lot of people on the sidelines. Floyd wouldn't have believed the scene above him. Practically everything but a Ferris wheel. Food stalls were set up to cash in on the crowds. Families and church groups picnicked in the fields.
All right. That is what happens. People will be there and they will just create this type of scene amidst a tragedy of stupidity. Hey, we're just going to have good old normal times here. We're going to drink, get drunk, eat food, and bring the kids. Oh my God. People love to watch a disaster unfold. They just do. I think it's part of human nature.
Despite prohibition, moonshiners showed up to sell jugs with all of those X's written on them. There was even a bloody juggler. I won't stop juggling till he's free. And Old Man Lee was there, walking around, shaking his jar, and soliciting donations. But where were Homer and Burden and Miller during all of this? Okay, let's back up a bit. People did not properly understand exactly how Floyd was trapped, and the news didn't help much either. So the obvious question started to arise. Why hasn't he been rescued yet? Just clear some gravel or pull a rope. How is this so hard? Motive was attributed.
I heard they didn't even want to have him rescued at all.
I heard that they're doing all of this for publicity.
And Lee's activity of soliciting donations, remember from before, further inflamed rumors.
I bet Floyd isn't even trapped in there.
These were all real rumors, and they got worse.
But he comes out at night, and then he just goes back in the
1920s internet, essentially. That's what this is, 1920s internet.
Morning.
Other rumors included,
I heard that after Floyd went into the cave, someone murdered him.
Others said,
I think they're withholding food and water from him, so he dies.
This whole thing is a fraud.
As time went on, it was harder and harder to ignore the hoax claims. Then, people started to form righteous mobs, claiming the whole thing was a fraud, and they started to get nasty. In fact, two people even went to the telegraph office and pretended to be Floyd sending telegrams to his mother, who, by the way, died several years ago. Here's what it said. Quote, please contradict statements that I am buried alive in Sand Cave. Stop. Tell mother I am all right. Stop. Am coming home. Stop. Floyd Collins. Naturally, the AP published these telegrams unquestioningly, and now word is out to the press that he isn't actually in the cave after all. That made the authorities look foolish, and it could not go on. So, a hasty court-martial was arranged, and Homer, Miller, and Gerald were summoned. They hold one session on Monday and another on Tuesday. Lee and everyone else is cleared of charges, a retraction is written, and things carry on. The men at the dig were busy as ever. They set up pumps to mitigate the water in the shaft. Men continued working in shifts and carrying away the earth. Here they are with strips of lumber to shore up the walls. They were just short of halfway, and their rate of clearing material had slowed.
Obviously, I don't know the history. I haven't cheated to see what happened while we were watching this. I feel like he's going to be dead.
To a mere 4 inches per hour. It was at that point Carmichael went, yeah, okay, sod the cavers, tried the dynamite, but it hardly made a dent, and it risked causing the shaft to collapse. But despite all of these challenges, there was an optimism in the air, because everyone was keen for their turn to dig. And because they had one more thing to latch onto. He is probably still alive. Now, how do they know that? Okay, so remember that light bulb around Floyd's neck? Well, it's powered by a simple copper wire. Bare copper wire is subject to very minute fluctuations in resistance. So, an engineer rigs up a radio amplifier to this wire to read the current and see those small fluctuations. There they were. About 20 per minute, the rate of steady breathing.
Oh.
As his chest expands and contracts, they can read it from this device.
Wow. Okay.
And so
Science!
they kept going. And going. And going. 30 hours was the original estimate. Now 144 hours had come and gone, and they were only at 44 feet. Then rain fell. Rain that mixed with dirt to make mud, much of which then froze to make ice. Ice which expanded and damaged the integrity of the shaft walls. Slowing down with every hour, they continued. Many more hours passed, and they were getting close.
I mean, he has to be wasting away down there where he's at least lost like probably 20, 30 pounds. So he's skinnier.
But it was now 15 days since Floyd was first stuck in that cave, and people had mostly lost hope. That excitement in the newspapers was tempering down. Visitors began clearing out from Cave City. Many still held on to hope, but their final lifeline, that light bulb, had burnt out. And it wasn't possible to do any more readings on the radio amplifier without it. No one knew if Floyd was still alive.
At this point, it might be a corpse retrieval.
Another 51 hours would pass before, finally, they reached the 60-foot depth.
I'm in. Chisel.
A chisel was handed down. At 1:30 p.m. on Monday, February 16th, Sand Cave would open once again. Floyd had been pinned in that cave for 17 days. 12 spent without food, survivable. 12 without water, likely not survivable.
Yeah.
The light bulb, vital...
I know this stuff. You will die of dehydration before you die of starvation.
Source of warmth.
Because the water, your brain needs, as much as the rest, you need water, your brain needs water. Otherwise, it will start to, die. So you need water. Oh, man.
Burnt out 4 days ago. But maybe the moisture from the dripping of the cave walls provided him with some sustenance? There are stories of people surviving harsher extremes. A few final rocks were moved to allow Ed Brenner to squeeze in. Everybody stood by, absolutely silent, peering into that hole. Ed scanned the opening with his flashlight, listening carefully for movement. Then, head first, he worked his way in. The flashlight reflected dimly off the rock walls, but then caught the reflection of something gold. That golden flicker was not the light bulb. It was the glistening of light reflecting off a gold tooth. His mouth hung open. Floyd was dead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Brenner was helped out of the cave, and he delivered the news.
Dead.
There's no way. There was no way. No way.
A coroner would later state that Floyd succumbed to exposure, and that they had missed him by just 3 days, about the same time that the light bulb had gone out. When the light bulb went out, so too did his one source of warmth. If it had held out, Collins might have as well. But what would they do now with the body? The shaft walls were ready to fall inwards, and risking lives to remove a corpse was seen as just irresponsible.
It's already buried.
So it was decided by the authorities. Floyd will stay in that cave.
It's already buried. I mean, yeah.
Now, this did not sit well with the family, but what could they do? The next day, they planned the funeral. The town emptied of people, and the shaft with Floyd at the bottom was filled back in. But that's not quite the end of the story. But if you hung on for this long, keep holding on, because things are going to continue to get interesting. But first, let me do a wrap-up of where everyone is and all that stuff. Context. The Collins family already had financial hardship. Lee Collins wasn't able to raise much money from the donations. After the crowds cleared, he was seen searching the site, scanning for empty bottles that he could resell. But the owner of the land, B. Doyle, and supposed friend of Floyd, was wholly unsympathetic. He put up a sign that said, "Floyd's dead body, right this way. Come on now, Take a look. Only 50 cents a gander. It's 100 years later. B's dead. Let's call it even. Also, remember those claims of Kentucky being an open purse? Well, the state reneged on the deal. They refused to pay many of the rescuers, and most of them went home without the promised pay.
Wow.
Many having sacrificed a week's worth of wages from missing their regular work.
Wow.
Some of them did make some money out of the situation, though. They signed on to a type of touring theatre called vaudeville. They roamed the country, telling their personal stories of their attempted rescue. Miller received the best offer out of anyone, however. How about 50 grand to do the Chautauqua lecture circuit? It'll be worth nearly $1 million in 2023 money. He declined. He stayed loyal to the Louisville Courier, continuing his work there for several more years. Although, a bit of a perk, he won the 1926 Pulitzer Prize for his reporting on Floyd Collins. Okay, so back to the brother, Homer. He needed money and he agreed to do that vaudeville circuit. He stood on stage and shared with the crowd stories about growing up with his brother Floyd and detailing out the tragedy. But Homer made it known why he was up here on stage trying to get money. He had a mission.
I kept thinking of Floyd lying in the muck, where he had suffered beyond our power to imagine. I would never have peace of mind if he remained there.
He wanted the money to dig Floyd up and get him out of that cave. A couple of months later, he had it. All right, so back to Floyd. April 17th, 1925. Homer and a team of excavators. They began to dig.
He brought
Within
the
a
clones
week,
back.
they had arrived at Floyd. But instead of coming down the same passage near Floyd's head, they approached from the other side where his foot was. It allowed them to remove the rock that trapped him in place. They lifted him up from his tomb and laid him down on the fresh air above. A couple of days later, Floyd was given an honored place at the family cemetery, next to his mother. A stalagmite was taken from Sand Cave, carved with his name, and used as a headstone. And there he lay. No, that's not actually where it ends. Okay, this is where it gets weird. 2 years later, 1927, the Collins family's finances hadn't much improved. A dentist.
Don't worry. Very shortly, the entire country's finances are going to tank. So don't worry, you won't be alone.
Harry B. Thomas walked up to the property and made Lee an offer. Sell this property to me, and I will give you $10,000. Now, Homer begged him not to, because at the time, the government was starting to buy up tons of land in the area and turn it into national parks. They had to pay at a very competitive rate. But Lee was becoming a bit old and senile by this point, and frankly, it's doubtful that he cared about Homer or Floyd or anyone else for that matter. It's 100 years later, he's dead now, let's call it even. So, the point is, in this land sale with Thomas, Lee agreed to a very odd clause. And that clause said, everything on that property belongs to Thomas. And should he wish, for example, to exhume a dead body and re-embalm it and put it on display in something really tacky like a glass coffin inside a cave, maybe, then that would be his prerogative. Lee signed yes. And Thomas did exactly that. Doyle made Floyd's corpse a tourist attraction. That's right. 2 bits a gander. Come and wonder at the incredible dead man who died in a cave. But to add insult to injury, it worked. Visitors returned to Sand Cave to gawk morbidly at Floyd.
That's wrong.
Within a few months, Thomas had turned Lee's failing farm into a successful business.
Dude.
The Collins family, naturally, is appalled by the situation, and they immediately object. They try a number of times to get Floyd returned to them, including through the legal system. But somehow, incredibly, the judge ruled in Thomas's favor. And so, there he lay for the next 2 years.
Well, he got his wish.
The cave was not done
His cave
with
was an
Floyd.
attraction.
Until someone hatched a plan. 2 years later, it's midnight, outside Sand Cave. Footsteps can be heard rustling through the brush. Now, we don't know who these 2 men are, but we know why they are here. To rob a grave.
There you
They
go.
sneak inside and
Grave
clamber over
robbing.
the rocks in the darkness. Reaching Floyd's casket, they undo the latch and throw open the lid. There is his shriveled body. They throw him in a gunny sack and they race off into the night. For 800 yards they carry dear Floyd like a couple of sweaty Santas
was
about to
Homer the
deliver a
journalist or
really
Homer and
terrible
MacGyver.
Christmas present. Panting, out of breath, knowing that they're going to get caught any minute, they reach the Kentucky Green River hillside. There's no time. With a 1, 2, 3, they launch his body
You're
towards
free!
the river, and Floyd goes sailing into the air, up, into the starlit beyond,
Now he's free.
and landing in a bush. Oh, God. The two men flee from the scene. Now, the next morning, Thomas notices that the body of Floyd is somewhat missing, and he contacts the authorities. The police come, they dust the casket for fingerprints, and bloodhounds are given Floyd's scent and let loose into the hillside. A few hours later, they manage to find him,
Put it back
splayed out in a big shrub down by the river.
horrible.
But this time, with a leg missing, that same one that was trapped under the rock. So, despite his protests, it had been amputated. Neither the leg nor the culprits were ever found. And while it would be nice to think that this was some well-intentioned duo that did this out of the kindness of their hearts to free Floyd, it's much more likely that it was an act of vandalism because Floyd was simply too much of a hot tourist attraction. The following day, Floyd was cast back into the cave, back into his box, and it was covered by a metal lid, surrounded by a metal chain, and locked with a padlock. He was now more trapped than he had ever been.
That is so wrong.
This cave had spun fate once again to make sure that its victim would never leave.
It's terrible.
And so, time passed. Floyd's body would continue to decay. The rot from his body would eventually rot the casket too, and every decade or so, it would need to be replaced. A few years later, he was no longer on display. But even then, he remained in that box for many more years.
I was gonna say we should send Dermy to the cave. I was gonna say that, but
By 1989, Floyd's Cave was purchased by Mammoth Cave National Park, and it was closed to the public. There would be no more visitors. The entrance itself to Floyd's Cave was closed with a steel gate and bolted, then welded shut. But the Collins family never gave up objecting to Collins' body being left in the cave. And here is where the story ends. In 1989, at the Collins' request, the National Park Service ventured into Floyd's Cave. Continuing on a more than 60-year tradition, a team of people worked over the course of several days to remove him from the cave. They took him out, left the cave, locked it behind them, and laid Floyd to rest at the Mammoth Cave Baptist Church Cemetery. After 64 years in Sand Cave,
You're
he
free!
is now finally at peace. The end.
dude, it's fucking dark.
Thank you to Wendigoon as Floyd.
If you don't let me out, I'm going to hire a gang of hitmen to come to your house and kill your family.
Samito as Homer.
The BTS meal McDonald's bag that has
I'm
McDonald's
hungry.
and BTS. Shut the fuck up and eat some BTS, bro.
Ordinary Things as Miller.
I'm enthusiastic, but would ultimately
I don't know who
duck
any
out
of
the
these
back
people are.
exit.
Rusty Cage as Gerald.
Oh, well, hello there. Haven't seen y'all in a while. Welcome to my new home.
And many kudos as Burden.
Hey, buddy. You right down there?
I can.
You little sleepy?
I can. Yeah.
We get you a coffee?
Cold and
Little cup of Joe? Little cup of Joseph?
I'm starting.
Cup of Joseph from a little sleepy guy?
And do not forget, World of Tanks, World of Tanks.
World of
None
Tanks.
of this would have happened if Floyd had got World of Tanks.
Yeah, because he would have been wasting his time on the internet playing World of Tanks. All right, there we go. Another internet historian sojourn on the books. Thank you, Kratos. That one was funny and dark. that was fucking dark, dude. Oh man, poor Floyd. May he rest in peace. Finally, at the bottom of a cemetery. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Nope. That's it. Listen, as I said, slow day, but we had some fun. A video is a nice way to pass the time when there's no news to discuss. So we are going to end the show here right now. All right. So tonight it's Friday, which means, as I control a hiccup and a burp at the same time, it's Ballbusters tonight. Our guests are the Melees, which means it's going to be chaos. Dermy's planning to get drunk. Tonight will be the return, possibly, of Hiccup Dermy. Go make Hiccup Dermy. Yeah, I know. I need to. It's all up here. So I need to put it down on paper so you guys can start working stuff out. So it is 3:00 though. I need to get started on that. I don't know to play. Maybe the Actually, no, I'm not making cookies today. I've decided to not make cookies today because my cookies didn't work out well last week. The cocoa powder was old, so it kind of ruined the cookies. They were very dry and tasteless. I didn't realize cocoa powder had expired. I just like, oh, cocoa powder's fine. Yeah. And no, I decided not bake today. I'm just gonna focus on dinner. I still got a donut in the fridge. No, I'm not. I don't want to bake anyway. I'm not in a baking mood. I don't want. I have a donut that I got. I have another donut that I got yesterday still in the fridge. So I'll eat a donut later tonight. That's not even a thing. Not even a thing. Anyway, I don't believe that. Internet historian, he makes his own stuff. I don't believe that. I trust an internet historian. Anyway, so tonight the Melees. I'm actually gonna get started on dinner in about an hour from now. So then I have to watch Aliens to talk about it with Jed tomorrow on Drive-In. And so we're gonna have a fun one there. I don't know what co-op gaming is tomorrow night. I have no idea. No one has threatened to be with party animals yet this week, so we'll find out. Either way, should be a fun, interesting weekend. Just as a heads up, Anime Odyssey will be pre-recorded for next week. Dermy and I do not have the schedule lineup because of Dermy's current hours at his real day job. So we'll be pre-recording Anime Odyssey to do our 4th installment, 4 of 5 of Summer of Gundam, the remaining part of Gundam Seed Destiny. So tune in for that. It'll still be released on Thursday. I don't know if it'll be released on both our channels. We'll have to talk about that. I don't know what he wants to do about that, but we are going to pre-record it this Sunday and release it next Thursday. And of course, come around for Roundtable this weekend, where it should be a good one. I'm excited for it. Some good discussion is in store, and there will be changes. Oh, hang on, Kratos, I appreciate the $2, but that doesn't make me do scones. It won't make me do scones. I don't have any blueberries because the blueberries were kind of giving me gas, so I need a break from the blueberries. Yeah, we want to see the return of Hiccup Dermy tonight. Anyway, listen, if scones will take me all of like 30 minutes to do if I really feel like it. Unlike cookies, I can do scones at the drop of a hat. See, if I was going to do cookies, I would have had to have taken the butter out 3 hours ago so that it would be room temperature soft by now. Peach, ew. I could do apple scones, but the apples we have in the house are not very good for baking. Not that I don't like gala apples. I like a good golden delicious apple for baking. I don't have my car. My car won't be back here for 2 hours. I'm stuck here. I can go nowhere. You'll get some at Walmart. Kratos, we live very far away from each other. There's no apples to be got. There's no apples or anything like that. Anyway, I don't listen. I don't know if I feel like baking today. I just don't. Maybe I'll bake tomorrow. No, I gotta get my haircut tomorrow. Anyway, listen. One of these days, you guys will see me bake. You'll see me cook. You'll get there for you. Well played, sir. Well played. And we're gonna wrap it up. I will see you guys later tonight on Ballbusters at its old time, 11 p.m. Eastern, because Dermy's new schedule does not permit it for him to be there at the previous time. So 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 Central. 11 minus 3 is 8 p.m. Pacific. And I don't care about Mountain Time. Anyway, so thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate your support as always. It's been a really good week for the channel. A lot of new eyes. So let's keep it going. Keep hitting those like buttons. Keep leaving comments. Keep watching the videos. Keep spreading the good word as we try to make things happen around here. A lot of great stuff. And I promise I'm going to do my damnedest this weekend to put some time in and put the tabletop stuff down on paper. So those of you who are involved can start thinking about your characters and we can get started next month. That is the goal, to get started next month. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Take it easy.